That little brown bottle sitting in the back of your medicine cabinet, the one you probably haven't touched since the last time you scraped your knee, well, it turns out that humble bottle of hydrogen peroxide might be the most underrated pest control weapon in your entire house. Every year, Americans spend over $5 billion on professional pest control services. And look, there are definitely times when calling in the pros makes sense. But here is the thing, a lot of the creepy crawlies, flying nuisances, and fuzzy invaders that bug us on a daily basis can be dealt with using a product that costs about $1 at the drugstore. Hydrogen peroxide is basically water with an extra oxygen atom. That's it. It's the formula music H2O2. And when it breaks down, it turns into just water and oxygen, two things that are completely harmless. No toxic residue, no dangerous fumes, no skull and crossbones warning label. The way it works against pests is actually pretty fascinating. That extra oxygen atom makes hydrogen peroxide what scientists call a strong oxidizer. When it comes into contact with organic material, like the body of an insect, a mold spore, or a bacterial cell, it releases reactive oxygen species that aggressively attack and break down cell membranes, proteins, music, and DNA. In plain English, it destroys pests at the cellular level, and then it disappears, leaving behind nothing but water and air. So why don't more people know about this? Well, let's just say the pest control industry isn't exactly rushing to tell you about a $1 solution that could save you hundreds. With that in mind, here are 9 things exterminators don't want you to know about hydrogen peroxide. Number 1, it destroys fungus gnats in your houseplants. If you have ever noticed tiny black flies hovering around your potted plant, you have met fungus gnats. These annoying little pests breed in moist soil, and a single female can lay up to 200 eggs in just 1 week. That is how a small problem turns into an infestation practically overnight. Now, most people's first instinct is to buy expensive insecticidal sprays or call a pest control service. But here is what they will not tell you. A simple hydrogen peroxide soil drench can wipe out fungus gnat larvae on contact. Mix 1 part 3% hydrogen peroxide, the standard kind you find at the pharmacy, with 4 parts water. Let the top inch or 2 of your plant's soil dry out first, and then water the plant thoroughly with the mixture. You will notice the soil starts fizzing and bubbling. Do not worry, that is a good sign. Music. It means the hydrogen peroxide is breaking down into water and oxygen, and in the process, it is killing larvae and eggs hiding in the soil. The best part is that extra oxygen actually benefits your plant's roots. So you are killing the pests and giving your plant a little health boost at the same time. 1 or 2 treatments spaced about a week apart is usually all it takes to break the cycle and send those gnats packing for good. Number 2, it kills mold and mildew better than bleach. Now this one might surprise you because most people reach for bleach the second they spot mold in the bathroom. But here is something the cleaning and pest control industries do not advertise. Hydrogen peroxide, music, actually outperforms bleach when it comes to killing mold on porous surfaces. Here is why. Bleach is effective on smooth, non-porous surfaces like tile and glass, but on porous materials like wood, drywall, music, and grout, bleach cannot penetrate deep enough. It kills the mold on the surface, music, but leaves the roots alive underneath. So the mold just grows right back. Hydrogen peroxide has an effervescent nature that allows it to fizz and bubble its way into those tiny pores, reaching mold that bleach simply cannot touch. And unlike bleach, it does not produce toxic fumes or leave behind harmful chemical residue. To use it, pour undiluted 3% hydrogen peroxide into a spray bottle. Spray it directly onto the moldy surface until it is completely saturated. Let it sit for about 10 to 15 minutes. Music. You will see it bubbling as it goes to work. Then scrub the area with a brush or cloth and wipe it clean. For stubborn spots, you can add a little baking soda to boost the scrubbing power. This works great on bathroom tiles, music shower walls, windowsills, kitchen appliances, and even clothing. Just keep in mind that hydrogen peroxide does have a mild bleaching effect. So test music it on a small hidden area first if you are cleaning colored fabrics or dark wood. Mold is not just ugly, it can trigger allergies, asthma attacks, and other respiratory problems. Studies estimate that anywhere from 10 to 50% of homes in North America have significant mold problems, often in places people do not even think to check, like under sinks, behind appliances, or inside air ducts. So, getting rid of it properly matters, and hydrogen peroxide is one of the safest and most effective ways to do it. One important note: the EPA recommends calling a professional if you are dealing with a mold problem larger than about 10 square feet, which is roughly a 3 by 3 foot area. Do not mix hydrogen peroxide with vinegar. When combined, they create peracetic acid, which produces toxic fumes and can irritate your skin and eyes. Use them separately, not together. Number 3, it stops ants in their tracks. We've all been there. You walk into the kitchen one morning and there's a trail of ants marching across the counter like they own the place. Your first thought might be to grab a can of chemical ant spray, but those products often contain ingredients, music, you really do not want anywhere near your food prep area. Hydrogen peroxide can kill ants on contact. The oxidizing action of the extra oxygen atom damages their exoskeleton and disrupts their cellular structure, and they simply cannot survive it. To make your own ant-killing spray, dilute 35% food-grade hydrogen peroxide at a ratio of 1 part peroxide to 11 parts water. If you are using the more common 3% hydrogen peroxide from the drugstore, you can use it at a stronger concentration, roughly 1 part peroxide to 2 parts water. Spray it directly onto any ants you see, as well as along the trails they are following. Ants leave behind scent trails made of pheromones that tell other ants where to go. The hydrogen peroxide helps break down those scent trails, which disrupts their navigation and discourages other ants from following the same path. Now, it is worth mentioning that this is a contact killer, meaning it works on the ants you can see and spray directly. It will not eliminate an entire colony the way bait traps do, but for dealing with ants in your kitchen, bathroom, or anywhere you would rather not spray harsh chemicals, it is a fantastic first line of defense. Number 4, it eliminates drain flies. If you have noticed tiny moth-like flies hanging around your kitchen or bathroom sink, congratulations, you have drain flies. Also called sewer gnats, these little pests breed in the organic gunk that builds up inside your drains. That is the slimy film of grease, hair, soap scum, and food particles that accumulates over time. Most people do not even realize they have drain flies until the population explodes, and by that point, they are calling an exterminator. But all you really need is a bottle of hydrogen peroxide and about 2 minutes of your time. Pour about a cup of 3% hydrogen peroxide straight down the affected drain. You will hear it fizzing as it reacts with the organic buildup inside the pipe. That fizzing action does 2 things. It breaks down the slimy layer where drain flies lay their eggs, and it kills the larvae and eggs on contact. Let it sit for at least an hour, and ideally overnight for the best results. Then flush the drain with hot water. Repeat this once a day for about a week to make sure you have broken the breeding cycle completely. This is also a great preventive measure. Even if you do not have drain flies right now, pouring a little hydrogen peroxide down your drains once a week keeps that organic buildup from forming in the first place. Clean drains mean no breeding ground, and no breeding ground means no drain flies. Simple as that. And just so you know, this works for kitchen drains, bathroom sinks, shower drains, basically anywhere water goes down slowly or where you have noticed a funky smell. That smell is the same organic sludge the drain flies are breeding in. When the hydrogen peroxide eliminates the buildup, you are also getting rid of that nasty odor as a bonus. Few things ruin a nice evening outdoors faster than a swarm of mosquitoes turning you into their personal buffet. While there are plenty of commercial repellents and citronella candles on the market, many of them are loaded with chemicals or simply do not work that well. Here is a cheap and surprisingly effective alternative. Fill a spray bottle with a mixture of equal parts 3% hydrogen peroxide and music water. Spray it generously around your patio, deck, or any outdoor seating area where you plan to spend time. The way it works is fairly straightforward. Mosquitoes are repelled by hydrogen peroxide, and if they come into direct contact with the spray, the oxidizing properties can actually kill them. A study published in Frontiers in Bioengineering and Biotechnology confirmed that hydrogen peroxide does have insecticidal effects on mosquitoes and their eggs. Now, the catch is that hydrogen peroxide breaks down relatively quickly when exposed to light, music, so the effect is not permanent. You will need to reapply before each outdoor gathering or after it rains. But at $1 a bottle, that is a trade-off most people are happy to make compared to spending money on pricier music alternatives. You can also target any areas of standing water in your yard like bird, music baths, plant saucers, or puddles. Mosquitoes need standing water to breed. Even a tiny bottle cap's worth of water is enough for them to lay eggs in. Adding a splash of hydrogen peroxide to standing water can kill mosquito larvae before they ever get a chance to grow up and bite you. If you are really serious about mosquito control, make it part of your routine. Spray down your patio area about 30 minutes before you plan to sit outside. Hit the chairs, the table legs, the railing, and any shady spots where mosquitoes tend to rest during the heat of the day. It is not a miracle solution, but plenty of people swear by it as a way to noticeably reduce the number of mosquitoes bugging them during backyard barbecues and evening hangouts. Number 6. Music. It wipes out aphids and garden pests. If you grow vegetables, music herbs, or flowers, you know how frustrating it is to find your plants covered in aphids, spider mites, or whiteflies. These tiny sap-sucking pests can weaken your plants, spread disease, and destroy an entire garden if left unchecked. Commercial pesticides work, sure, but they can also harm beneficial insects like bees and ladybugs, contaminate your soil, and leave chemical residue on the food you are growing. Not exactly ideal. Hydrogen peroxide offers a safer alternative. Mix 1 tablespoon of 3% hydrogen peroxide into 1 gallon of water. Pour the mixture into a spray bottle and spray it directly onto the affected plants, making sure to coat both the tops and the undersides of the leaves where pests like to hide. The hydrogen peroxide works as a contact insecticide. It is particularly effective against soft-bodied pests like aphids, spider mites, whiteflies, music, and mealybugs because they lack the thick, waxy outer shell that protects harder-bodied insects. The oxidizing action of the peroxide damages their cell membranes on contact. For soil-dwelling pests like root aphids, use the same 1:4 dilution mentioned earlier for fungus gnats. Music. Pour it directly into the soil to target eggs and larvae hiding below the surface. And here is a bonus. Hydrogen peroxide also helps fight fungal infections on plants like powdery mildew and black mold. The same spray that kills the aphids can also treat the fungal problems they leave behind. 2 birds, 1 stone. Do a spot test on a single leaf first, and wait a day or two before spraying the whole plant, especially on more delicate varieties. Always spray in the early morning or late evening to avoid any risk of leaf burn from the combination of peroxide and direct sunlight. Number 7. It safely cleans up after rodents. Finding evidence that mice or rats have been in your home is unsettling enough, but what a lot of people do not realize is that the real danger is not the rodents themselves, it is what they leave behind. Mouse and rat droppings, urine, and nesting materials can carry serious diseases including hantavirus, salmonella, and leptospirosis. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention warns against sweeping or vacuuming rodent droppings, music, because doing so can send contaminated particles into the air where you can breathe them in. Instead, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention recommends disinfecting the area first. Hydrogen peroxide is one of the most effective disinfectants you can use for this purpose. It has broad-spectrum antimicrobial properties, meaning it kills bacteria, viruses, and fungi on contact. Music. Here's how to safely clean up after rodents. First, put on rubber gloves and a mask. Next, music. Spray the droppings in the surrounding area thoroughly with 3% hydrogen peroxide. Let it soak for at least 5 minutes. Then carefully wipe everything up with paper towels and dispose of them in a sealed plastic bag. Music. Spray the area one more time with hydrogen peroxide and let it air dry. This is one of those situations where paying for professional pest removal to get rid of the rodents might be worth it, but the cleanup you can absolutely handle yourself with a spray bottle and some peroxide, and you will do just as thorough a job as any professional sanitation crew. Number 8, it gets rid of thrips on houseplants. Thrips are one of those pests that most people have never even heard of until their favorite houseplant starts looking sickly and they cannot figure out why. These tiny, slender insects are barely visible to the naked eye, but they can do serious damage. They feed by puncturing plant cells and music, sucking out the contents, leaving behind silvery streaks, music-distorted leaves, and tiny black dots of excrement. They also reproduce quickly and can spread from one plant to another in no time. Professional treatment for thrips, music, can cost a pretty penny, and many commercial insecticides need to be applied repeatedly over weeks. But hydrogen peroxide offers a simple and affordable solution. Mix equal parts 3% hydrogen peroxide music and water in a spray bottle. Spray it liberally onto the soil of the affected plant, making sure the top inch is thoroughly soaked. This targets thrip eggs and larvae that are hiding in the soil. Repeat this once a week until all signs of thrips are gone. For the adult thrips on the leaves, give the plant a good rinse with a hose or under the shower to physically knock them off. Then follow up with a light misting of the hydrogen peroxide solution on the foliage. The key with thrips is consistency. Music. They have a rapid life cycle, so you need to keep treating the soil weekly to catch each new generation before they mature and start laying more eggs. Stick with it and the hydrogen peroxide will get the job done. Music, without exposing you, your family, or your pets to harsh chemicals. Number 9. Music. It helps eliminate fleas in your home. Discovering that your home has fleas is one of those problems that can make your skin crawl, literally. These tiny parasites bite, reproduce at an alarming rate, and can be incredibly difficult to get rid of once they have established themselves in your carpets, bedding, and furniture. Professional flea treatments, can cost hundreds of dollars, and they often involve spraying chemicals all over your home that you then have to live with. But hydrogen peroxide can play a significant role in your flea-fighting strategy, especially when it comes to treating your home environment. Hydrogen peroxide works on fleas by damaging their protective exoskeleton, which causes them to dehydrate and die. It is also effective at destroying flea eggs, which is crucial because getting rid of adult fleas without killing the eggs just means a new generation will hatch and the cycle starts all over again. To use it, add hydrogen peroxide to your laundry when washing bedding, blankets, pet beds, and any fabric that might harbor fleas or their eggs. You can also spray a diluted solution of equal parts 3% hydrogen peroxide and water onto carpets, upholstered furniture, and around baseboards. One important warning: never apply hydrogen peroxide directly to your dog or cat. It can irritate their skin, and is not safe for use on animals. Stick to treating the home environment and consult your vet for pet-safe flea treatments. For best results, here is a game plan. Vacuum every carpet, rug, and upholstered surface in your home thoroughly. This physically removes a large number of adult fleas, larvae, and eggs. Immediately empty the vacuum bag or canister into a sealed bag and throw it out. Wash all bedding, pet beds, and any washable fabrics in the hottest water the material can handle, and add some hydrogen peroxide to the wash. Spray your carpets, furniture, and baseboards with the diluted hydrogen peroxide solution and let everything dry completely. Repeat the process every few days for at least 2 to 3 weeks to catch newly hatching fleas. Used alongside these methods, hydrogen peroxide can help you tackle a flea problem without spending a fortune on professional extermination services. So there you have it. 9 ways that an ordinary bottle of hydrogen peroxide can handle pest problems that might otherwise cost you serious money. Now, a few quick safety reminders. Always use 3% hydrogen peroxide for household applications. That is the standard concentration sold at pharmacies and grocery stores. Higher concentrations can be dangerous and should only be handled with proper precautions. Keep hydrogen peroxide music away from your eyes and mouth. Wear gloves if you have sensitive skin, music, and store it in a cool, dark place since it breaks down when exposed to light. And remember, music hydrogen peroxide is fantastic for small to moderate pest issues, music, and prevention. But if you are dealing with a severe infestation, structural damage, or anything involving potentially dangerous pests like termites or venomous spiders, that is when it is time to bring in a licensed professional. For everything else, though, that little brown bottle has got you covered. This channel is all about sharing common sense tips that help you stop wasting things and stretch your money further. We post many more ideas like this. So if you find these videos helpful, subscribe, music, and stay up to date. Your wallet will thank you.